I'm about to fight with you all day. Working on which way I made. Keep going, say still gotta maintain.
Peace, brother Skill.
But it's still hitting the back of his head. One day another you can't live dead. One day life's gonna let it go. One day another you can't live dead.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all the people that are upon the face of the earth.
Judah, we gon' about to take it back. That power, can't you feel that? My fist pointed to the sky, ready to give up my life. Yeah, Yahshua came and died for me, and now I got to give back. Yeah, he said he'll ride for me, and all I gotta do is that. Commandments I ain't scared to keep. The spirit of Judah is going for me. Israelite, no Israeli. They are not that low to see. Fake, not no real Jake. They think they can take no place for David. That line, he gon' rise up. That's why we stand eyes up.
Peace, Nick. Welcome to the live stream.
In thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
I'm glad to hear that, brother Skill. I'm glad to hear that, man.
Get our pride back. They want us to fall back.
Peace, Phoenix Schmidt.
Come on, let's take that name
Brother
back.
P in the building. Peace, brothers.
Come on, let's throw that name back.
May Abba's love rest upon us all. Facts.
We gon' tear they house up. Babylon, you gon' fall. And we gon' watch it from afar. The king of this for Israel. And look, homie, that's real. They lying, but I say the truth. My spirit bear witness with you. That we are the sons of God. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah,
All right, little flock. We're going to go ahead and get started. Go to the book of Matthew, chapter 26. The book of Matthew, chapter 26, little flockulators. And we're going to start there. This message is important for each and every one of us to realize, because there comes a time when we're going to be called to do something as the little flock, where each one of us is going to be called to do a particular thing. And when we're called to do it, our sin nature that we have within us is going to cause us to feel a way about that. And if you don't know any better, when you feel that way that I'm describing to you, it's going to cause you to turn away from what you were called to do. So if you don't know that, then you're just going to respond the way that I said. You're going to hear what you're called to do, get disgusted at what you're called to do, and you're going to turn away from doing it. You see what I mean? Your nature is going to do this. It's not like you're going to consciously think it. Your own nature is going to respond this way. You see? So we need to find out what that is, what it is that we are called to do, and why our nature responds in the way that it responds when we're actually called to do it. Y'all with me, little flock? So Matthew 26, we're going to start at verse 37. All right. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. So who is this that began to get sorrowful and very heavy, little flock? Before we begin, make sure we're all in the same place, grazing in the same green pastures. Who is this one that began to become sorrowful and very heavy? Phoenix Queen in the building. Brother Christopher Gallant in the building. Welcome to the live stream, Flockulators. That's right, sister. This is Christ. Now it says he began to be sorrowful and very heavy. My next question, now that we have discovered who this is, why? Why is he beginning to become sorrowful and very heavy? Why is that, little flock? Brother Chris says, because he knows what is coming. And what is coming? Because remember, this applies to each and every one of us as the Flockulators. This is how you're going to feel when you're called to do the same thing. So we need to know what is coming. The cup Abba gave him to drink is heavy. Brother Chris says death. Flesh, death. So he's sorrowful and very heavy because he's about to face death. Now, what kind of death? A wrongful death or a righteous death? What kind of death is he about to experience? In other words, this death that Christ is about to experience, is it righteous? Is it fair? Is there a righteous cause for why he's about to experience this? That's right, family. Unrighteous death, a wrongful death. So now we have another ingredient as to why he feels sorrow here. Not just because he's about to face death, it's because of all the other intangible parts that connect to this death. All these other things that are connected to it, which we're going to unveil exactly what these things are. He began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then saith he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. So now Yahushua's asking his brothers for brotherly love and support, correct? Because of this turmoil he's going through. And the turmoil he's going through is, as Sister Phoenix Queen said, it's the cup that he was given to drink. Okay? Which he's going to explain a little bit more about this cup here in a second. You see that, little flock? And he went a little farther and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. Stop. Did y'all hear that part right there? Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he was exceedingly sorrowful when saying those words. And he also said, let this cup pass from me. What cup? That's my question. What cup is he asking to be passed from him? There we go, Brother P. The cup of suffering. That's what causes a person to become nervous with agonia and stress. You see that? It's the suffering he's about to partake in. Now, the suffering he's about to partake in, we have already admitted to ourselves that it's unrighteous and unfair that he's going to go through this suffering. That's why he feels the sorrow. Now, had he done something or did something wrong to earn this suffering, or the suffering was righteous, then there's no reason to feel sorrow and sadness about it. You're just saying, well, I'm getting what I deserve. I know what I did. I know the wrong shit I've done. But this is a man who did no wrong. But yet he's about to suffer greatly, as if he has done great wrongs, correct? So then let's see if he drinks the cup or if he passes it on to somebody else. Like I said, this applies to each and every one of us, okay? Brother Chris says, the fact that he will be separated from his father because he will be made sin. And what is that sin? In other words, he's going to show the earth how wrong their judgment is. He's going to show them by how they treat him. So if you live in a world of wrong judgment, then how will you be treated? Well, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. And he cometh unto his disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, what? Could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. That you enter not into temptation? The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh, on the other hand. So then the flesh is going to do what it do, because it's weak. And in this case, that is fall asleep. The spirit is saying, okay, I'm going to stay up and do what he asked me to do, which is pray. In other words, I'm going to do what Yahusha asked me to do. But your flesh is going to get in the way of that and prevent that from happening. Don't you see it? Your spirit is willing to do it, but your flesh is weak. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. So whose will does he keep saying be done? His own? He's prayed twice, and in both prayers, he said that his will not be done. So that is death. Can you guys understand that? That is the death that I'm telling you guys about, not what he's about to go through physically. The death that you're going to be offended about is giving up your own will for the truth's sake. You see that, little flock? Let's continue. He went again and he prayed, same prayer, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. See? You see that there? He woke them up and said, pray again. And they still fell asleep, little flock. They still couldn't do it. Because you can't to do anything. That's what he's saying here. Not my will. Can you hear it? You can't will yourself to do a damn thing because it's not your will. You're dying to your will. You're dying to try to make yourself right. You're dying to try to make yourself anything to earn a place with God because you can't earn it. Can you? And if you can't earn it, then why do you do things to try to earn it? El Osa said, hola, amigo. Hola, amigo. Brother Gill said his father's will. That's right. In order for him to do the father's will, what must he do with his own? What must he do with it? That's my question. In order for Christ to do the will of the Father, what must he do with his own will? Let it die. That's right. That's the death that causes sorrow. But people don't know this. That's because they're not giving up their own will. That's why they don't know it. Because the moment you're called to give up your own will for the will of God, it's going to cause you to sorrow. Because it's not your will to give up anything of yourself. It's not your will to do that. It's your will to save your life. And you think you're saving your life by doing rudiments with your hands and works of the law with your hands and things like this. You think you're saving your life by doing these things. But you save your life by giving up your will. That is salvation, because the one who's named salvation, that's what he did. You notice he's saying, not my will. So then he's giving you a clue to what his will would be. According to what Yahushua is saying, what would his will be concerning the cup? Let's uncover that mystery. When Abba gave Yahushua the cup, what was Yahushua's will concerning the cup? Sister Nika said, I'm here, I'm just driving. All right, well, be safe, sister. Traveling grace unto you that you reach. Thank you, Abba, for getting Nika to her destination safely without any hurt, harm, or danger. Come her way. Thank you for that, Abba. You're so wonderful. Brother Gil said, give up on it. So what was Yahushua's own personal will concerning the cup? He just gave you guys all the answer to it. When he got the cup, what did his mind say? In other words, his own personal mind, what did it say? He said it himself. Let it pass from me. So then, guys, I don't know if you can hear that or not. I don't know if you guys can hear what I'm saying or not. Yahushua himself said, let it pass from me. So then when you get your cup to drink, what are you going to think? Something different? You're greater than Yahushua? You're going to think something, yeah, God, thank you for this cup. I'm going to drink every last sip, even down to the dregs. Watch me, God. See, that was nothing. And you guys know what I'm describing by saying this. You see people all the time thinking that they have some hair on their chest and some hair on their balls and everything because they were able to drink some strong ass liquor without making a face. They think that makes them a man. You drink it, you're like, ooh, shit, that shit's strong. He like, give me that shit, give it here. Yeah, you pussy. I show you how to drink some damn alcohol. I know how to put it away. As if that makes you a tough guy or something, or a man or something. That shit burned in your throat just like it burned mine. I'm just real enough to act like it burnt my throat. But since you're a tear and an acting ass hypocritas cucaracha, you're acting like it didn't burn at all. No, it's not hot. Nigga sweating his ass off. It's not hot at all. I'm fine. I'm not even drunk. As soon as that nigga get up from that table, cause smash, falling through the table and shit. Damn, I thought you said you wasn't drunk. I thought you were a tough guy. Bring on the bottles. I can drink all night long. Where does that come from? They give it to me. I can take it. Is that of God? I don't think so. I don't think so. So then you guys see that Christ's will was to let the cup pass. But Abba's will was that Christ do what? That's the next question. Christ wanted the cup to pass, but Abba said, no, you're going to drink it. Is that true? Is that true or is it true? Well, we're going to keep on reading and we're going to see if it's true. Verse 44. And he left them and went again and prayed the third time. So we've been through two prayers that Yahushua has prayed. Now we're on the third, right, little flock? Let's see what he says. He prayed the third time saying the same words. Stop. So did he change that time? Did he say, okay, Abba, Now, I'm not going to drink that cup. I'm going to go with my own will. I think that's better. Is that what he said? Or did he say the same words the third time he went? He said the same words. So then he said, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, let your will be done. Right? Okay, then. Now, continuing. Then cometh he to his disciples and saith unto them, sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hand of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. You see that, little flock? So he said, go ahead, take your sleep, guys. I tried to get y'all to hang with me, but I understand the flesh is weak and you couldn't do it. You see? Brother P says, could our individual cup that we have to drink have something to do with the thing that might be a thorn in our side? Well, we're going to get into the cup. I told you what the cup is. The cup is giving up your own will. That's the cup of suffering. That's death. You're dying when you give your will up. What does the Bible say? How often should we die? Watch the Legos that's about to click. The Bible says we die how often, little flock? On the daily. That's right. So if we die daily, how often do we give our will up? Does a dead person have a will? So then if you die every single day, then when do you ever have a will? So then the dying that you're doing every day is giving up your own will. Correct? Just like Yahusha did. And then he said, pray that you enter not into temptation. Temptation to do what? Pray that you enter not in temptation to do what? To try to take matters into your own hand? To try to lean into your own understanding concerning a thing? To seek to save your life? Could it be that? Your own will. That's right. This is not hard to understand. This is not hard to understand. Okay, little flock? But we're going to continue so we can get more in depth about this. Now watch this, little flock. So he said, rise, let us go. Matthew 27. Okay. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yahusha to put him to death. So then, who made the decision to put Yahusha to death? We just read it. The chief priest. Do you see how the chief priests are part of an order? Now, these chief priests here, are they part of, well, I ask you guys, what order are these chief priests and elders a part of? I'll ask you guys before we continue. Make sure we're all on the same page here so that you can understand who's going to stop you from trying, who's going to keep you from giving up your will, who's going to try to keep you from giving up your will. We're going to expose them right here in this message. These chief priests that took counsel to put him to death. Okay, guys, there you have it. The Levitical. Now, are there people today that adhere to the Levitical? Of course there are. I see them everywhere all the time. So then they would seek to put Yahusha to death. Do you see it? Don't you see it? Those are the people that are planning to put him to death. These chief priests. Does it say priest or does it say chief priests? You hear that, little flock? They are the ones seeking to put him to death. Did it say some hood niggas in the hood at the liquor store, some thugs, was looking to kill Yahusha? No, not them. Nope. Did it say some mercenaries were looking to kill Yahusha? No. Did it say some special forces, Delta, Navy SEALs niggas was coming down out of a helicopter, Apache and shit, looking for Yahusha? No, it didn't say that. It tells you exactly who was looking for him to kill him. People that uphold the law of the Levitical order. Correct? All right, then. I need you to understand that. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the who? Who paid for the death of your Lord and Savior? Who paid for his death? Because it says who he gave the money back to. Who paid for his death, little flaccolators? The guys with the Dagon hats. You know that's right. They got a part to do with that. The high priest. There you have it. There you have it. So then these same kind of people exist today. You see that? And they are enemies of Christ, so much so that they seek to kill him and will pay money to have it done. These are the priests. You see why you should not be a part of that order? Do you see why Yahusha said, beware of the leaven of the far from seas? That's right, Brother Gil. From the far from seas, he tells you exactly whose leaven to beware of. You see it? Because they're going by what? The far from seas, now that we understood about what the death is, the far from seas haven't died, have they? No, they haven't. So then they're still doing their own what? Come on with it. The chief priests, the elders, the scribes, the Pharisees, they're all doing their own what? Instead of the what of God. Skeetin' deedly, can y'all understand we? They're doing their own will. They have not died to their own ideas of what righteousness is. They haven't died to their own idea of what cleanliness is. They haven't died to their own idea of what makes you right with God. They haven't died and given it up. So they're still enemies to the truth of how you actually do that stuff. And how do they think you do it? By what you do outwardly that men can see you do. They think that changing that makes you have the change that God wants you to have. Stop playing with me right now. Because if I had a woman and she dressed like a hoe, which means her titties was all out, she had a little tight ass skirt on and everything, showing her body to everybody. And I said, hey, baby, I really would like it if you just kind of like, wasn't really trying to show everybody off. I mean, show your goods off to everybody and everything. I feel kind of disrespected when you dress like that and everything. And then she goes, oh, okay, honey. And then she changes and puts on a different type of clothing. Did that change her heart? No. So the change that we're looking for is a transformation of the internal thing in you, guys. Not the external thing. The external thing is what it is. But your mind concerning the external thing will be changed. So then you will not think the way you used to. So then all you have to do is think back to how you used to think about sins and things that were dirty. And you're going to find out you were far from sea. And then you're going to say, well, what really is dirty? What really does defile me? And then it's going to come back to your heart. So then all that shit that you were talking about that defiled you, was it your heart? No, it was outward things. Those are the things that the Pharisees will deceive you and tell you that you need to clean out of your life. That's your own will. You're cleaning according to your own will. That's not what makes you clean. Yahusha said, you are now clean by the what? What cleansed us, guys? Yahusha said, you are now clean by the what? No Peroni. That's right. That stuff don't make you clean. But Yahusha said, what does make you clean? What does? He said it. Okay, let me ask it to you like this. Yahusha said, you are now clean by the Brother P said the renewing of our minds. Sister Phoenix Queen says by the blood of Yahusha. All right. Y'all on the right track, but we want to get it right specific. We want to hit the bullseye. You know, the bullseye is worth 10 points. Now, y'all get 9 points, 8 points, and all that stuff. That's cool and everything, but we want to get 10 points every time. We don't like letting the enemy have a chance to think he even can compete with us. We don't even want him to think he can. Okay? So we're not going to let him think he can. All right, little flockulators? Y'all bear with me real quick. I'm multitasking at the moment. Hold on one second. Okay, little flockulators, I'm just going to take a side detour real quick to get the answer to the question, which is John 15. Okay, John 15, I'll start at verse 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Stop. So I'll ask again, how did we as the flockulators get clean? Because he straight up told us how we got clean, little flock. We got clean through the word which he spoke to us, according to his words. So he said something that cleaned us. So then did I do something that cleaned me? Come on. Am I doing something that's cleaning me? Can I personally do anything to clean myself? Nope, I can't, because that's not what makes me clean. What makes me clean is the word. And when he tells me the word, then I have a transformation, like Brother P said, of my mind concerning the thing. I don't think the way I used to think. Like when I was young, I thought saying God damn was taking God's name in vain. Then I was born again. And so I don't think that anymore. So now I'll be like, God damn. And then somebody might hear me say that, that's still stuck in that old way, and say, hey, man, you may not want to put those two words together. One of them is a good word, and one of them is a bad word. And what concord have light and darkness, brother? You hear what I'm saying? He's still in darkness and don't understand that ain't even blaspheming God, man, because his name ain't God or damn. So then what are you talking about? Oh, I didn't know that wasn't his name. See? But see how you're far from see, trying to judge? Trying to tell somebody what clean and unclean is, and you don't even know what it is. Can y'all follow this little flock? And then as soon as I tell him what taking the Lord's name in vain is, he realizes how dirty he is. Because watch, he'll tell me, don't say God damn. Don't say that, man. That's profanity. That's dirty. And then he'll turn right around and say, I'm sick. I'm so exhausted. And he doesn't even think that's taking God's name in vain. But is it? Yes. So see how dirty he is? Got a beam in his eye, but he's trying to get the speck. This is what Yahusha was talking about. Your judgment is off, people. Y'all aren't judging right. And because you're not judging right, that does not allow you to even love your neighbor. You can't. Little flock, understand this. You will only have discord. You will only have strife. You will only have beef as long as you can't judge correctly. And Yahusha said, I judge no man. Go and sin no more. I judge no man. Is that his words? And then he goes forward and says, you judge after the flesh. You do that kind of stuff. So then what does judge after the flesh mean? It means you judge a person is wicked by what you physically see them doing. What you see them put into their mouth is what you judge makes them unclean. But Yahusha said it's not what goes in your mouth that does that. So what team is people on here? We're going to have to decide and be separated from the wrong judgment of this world that puts blocks between two men. and doesn't even allow them to have a true brotherhood, because as soon as they're sitting there at the table about to have dinner, one of them does something and the other brother looks and sees him, does it, and says, hey, you're not right. You're doing something wrong. Oh my goodness gracious. Are you just like the chief priest in Levitical order? Do y'all see it, little flock? Do y'all see it? I hope y'all do see it. All right, little flock. Now let's continue with this message. Let's keep going. Because remember, we're going to get to the point where we see that this is offensive to people. We're going to prove it. Watch. Now watch this, guys. Judas took the 30 pieces of silver and gave it to the chief priests and the elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the what blood? The what blood? This is Matthew 27 we're at. Matthew 27 and verse 4. I have betrayed what blood? Innocent blood, little flock. Innocent. So I have done something against somebody who doesn't even deserve it. Now, have you ever experienced that in your life? Yeah. You see what I mean? Now, when you experience that, how does it make you feel? That's what I want you guys to pay attention to, and I don't want you lying to me about it. How does it make you feel when you suffer injustice? Or when you suffer innocently? How does that make you feel? That's my question. Indignation. There we go with some honesty up in here. What else do it make you feel? Let's go. Let's flocculate. It makes you feel indignation. It makes you feel like I'm being hated by the world. Yeah, like I'm being hated by the world. What else do it make you feel? Retaliation. Vengeance. There we go. Like nobody gives a crap what I think. Let's keep on. Sadness. Let's keep the shit rolling. What else do it make you feel? Does it make you feel the same thing Yahusha just described to you? Sorrow and heavy, very heavy. Is that what it makes you feel? Come on, little flock. Come on. And have we all felt it? I'm telling y'all, I put my hand up. I have suffered injustice and iniquity. And guess what? Now I'm about to tell you what you're supposed to do when you suffer it. And this is where people get offended and don't want to listen anymore. I need you guys to perk your ears up and hear this part, because your nature is even to get offended by it and don't want to do it. So that's why I'm telling it to you, to remind you, because it's called the hour of temptation. What did we just read about? What did we just read about? Pray that you enter not into what? Pray that you enter not into what? Brother Gil said, yepperoni, you've experienced it. That's right. Pray that you enter not into what, little flock? When Yahusha was very heavy, filled with sorrow in the garden, what did he say? He told his disciples to pray that they be free from something. There we go, Brother Chris. Temptation. That's right, little flock. That they would not enter into it. Pray that prayer. You see, but they fell asleep. So then what is this telling you all, little flock? That temptation will come when you're wore out, because I told you all this. When you're wore out, sleepy and tired, you are at your worst. You are very vulnerable to be carnally minded because you're sleep deprived. You're tired. You're weary. Is that not what those men were experiencing? And they fell asleep and they were not able to stay awake for 1 little hour. Why is it 1 hour? Because it's called the hour of temptation. That's why. Now, let's read a little bit about this hour of temptation. Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Stop. Did you hear that there? A little flock. It's going to try everybody upon this earth, and it's going to last for an hour. So do you see why he said, you can't watch with me for 1 hour? You can't pray for 1 little hour? Pray that you enter not into this temptation. Come on now, little flock of leaders. Come on now. Come on now. Can y'all follow this? So this is the same temptation. Now I'm asking you guys, what is the temptation? When you suffer injustice, what are you tempted to do? You guys was just saying, I'm indignation, I'm mad, I feel like ready to kick on some ass, I'm ready to retaliate. That's the key word there. I'm ready to retaliate. I'm ready to stand up for myself. Now, what does this world tell you? To prove a person has been converted, they will not be offended when they're called to do this. But to prove that they're not converted, they will be offended when they're called to do this. And what is that? To deal with the temptation in a particular type of way. Is to keep the word of his patience. He just told you that in Revelation. So then how in the hell do you get through something by keeping the word of his patience if you're defending yourself by opening your mouth? Alrighty then. Well, let's keep on going and let's just see what we see here. That's right, Brother Gil. The temptation is to open your mouth. Now, when you suffer an iniquity, isn't that the first thing you want to do? Come on. Let's verify before I continue. When you suffer injustice, isn't that the first thing you say? Hey, right? Isn't it the first thing you're tempted to do? But he says, keep the word of his patience. And I've already shared with the little flock what the word of his patience is. It's this. Be quiet. Now, I told you, this world is going to tell you that you're being a Pussy. And a dry one at that. That's what they're going to tell you you're being. Do you see where the offense is coming in? Stand up for yourself. That's the carnal mind telling you that. Hey, don't let them do this to you. Don't let them take advantage of you. Don't let them get over on you. Stand up for yourself. Fight for yourself. Do y'all hear this? That's the temptation. If you defend yourself, then are you keeping your own will? Yeah, you are going with your own understanding. You are going with your own ideals. And as soon as you did that, you sinned. Correct? So if the grandson is actually accurate in what he's saying, then when the hour of temptation hits Yahusha, we should see him do what? Hey guys, this is wrong. I didn't do anything. Why are you taking me in? Why are you bringing me before Pilate? I haven't committed a crime at all. I'm the Son of God. I haven't done any wrong. There is no gall in my mouth. I mean, come on here. Is that what he did at all? But look how many people gonna be tempted to do that. I don't know if people can hear me. I don't know if they understand the importance of what I'm saying right now. I guess that's why only few are going to find the way out of the hour of temptation. Only a few are going to find it. I can understand that. Continuing, watch this. Watch what they're going to say to him. So he said, I sinned. I betrayed innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See you to that. What do we care? You hear that shit? That's the chief priest. What do we care? And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself. Y'all hear that little fly? And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful. Look at the leaven this nigga's about to pull here. You're going to see leaven all through the chief priest and exactly the high priest himself all through this shit. You're going to see their hypocrisy. But let's continue. He picks up the silver, the chief priests do, and they say, it is not lawful for to put them in the treasury because it is the price of blood. It's blood money. And they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. You hear that there, little flockulators? Yeah, okay. We want to jump ahead a little bit. Okay. Now remember, Keep the word of my patience during this hour of temptation. Yahushua's literally going through his hour of temptation, is he not? Is Yahushua going through his hour of temptation right now? That's right. Wicked ass far from seas, bro. They wicked. Because they're even more wicked than an outright wicked person that comes out and says, man, I know I'm wicked. I ain't shit. I'd rather have that guy than have a guy that says, no, I'm righteous. Look how clean I am on the outside. Look how I talk and do everything. As soon as you turn your back, he stabs you. I don't like that kind of shit. I don't like leaven. I like unleavened bread. All right? So remember, this is about keeping the word of his patience. You see, when you don't want to, you guys admit it. You feel indignation, you feel anger, you feel shafted, you feel shortchanged. Now, when you feel these things, don't you want to talk? Don't you want to say that you are suffering it? Don't you want to exclaim that to somebody? You want to say it to somebody? You want somebody to understand, right? Okay. Well, let's continue. And Yahushua stood before the governor, verse 11, Matthew 27, verse 11. Watch this. And Yahushua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, are you the king of the Jews? And Yahushua said unto them, you said it. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, so when he was accused, you see that word there? Who is the accuser? Before we continue, who is the accuser of the brethren? Who is the accuser of the brethren? Before we continue. Flocculation is going on here. The carnal mind, Satan, Satan, Satan. There we have it. So now, what is Satan accusing you of? Since he's the accuser that accuses the brethren day and night. Isn't that what the Bible says? Well, let's just make sure that that's what it says. The book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 9 says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and the angels were cast out with him. Now he got cast out. Now let's see what happens when he gets cast out. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our El and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brothers is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. See how they loved not their lives, little flock? Do you see it? They gave up their wills. They gave up their lives, and they remained silent before that accusing ass nigga. Say what you want to say, because I am what I am. Don't give a damn what you're accusing me of being. I don't care what you accuse me of being. You can't change my mind. You can give your opinion, but I have a shield of faith that knocks opinions right into the damn wind. I don't give a shit about an opinion. Fuck your opinions. That's my attitude about an opinion, because I have the word. And so the word is final. And when the word speaks, I don't need another opinion telling me a damn thing. I follow the Lamb, as it says here, whithersoever he goes. What about you, little flock? What do you follow? Who do you follow? Because what makes you clean? I told you it's the word that he told you. So it protects you from all the accusing ass lies that you're what? What is he accusing you of? He accusing the brothers. So if you call yourself one of the brothers, what does he accuse you of every day? Just curious to see what you guys are going to say here. Says he's an accuser, and you guys said you knew who the accuser was. What is he accusing you of? That I am not. So now, I am, what did God say? Since you have an accuser, you guys are telling me that God's all day tells you you're filthy, you're nasty, you're no good, and you ain't shit. God does, and then Satan comes in and accuses you. No, you're not. You're good. You're blessed. You're happy. You're healthy. Are you guys serious? Or is it God is telling you the truth of yourself? You are healthy. But there's a liar that's going to try to come and steal that from you and tell you you're not healthy, to tell you you're not accepted by me, to tell you you're not good enough for me, to tell you ultimately that you are not loved by me because there's something you're doing that is hindering my love. Impossible. And I've told you guys this. So the accuser is trying to accuse you of a damn lie. Didn't it say he deceived the whole world? Didn't it say that? Yeah, it did say that. All right, then. All right, then. So now let's see what Yahushua says back here in Matthew 27, verse 12. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, stop. We just heard that the accuser is Satan, the devil. Now it calls them the chief priests and elders. So do you see what I'm telling you about this Levitical order? And what Father they're teaching you is theirs? Do you guys see what I'm telling you now? They're teaching you, what did Yahushua say? You do the lust of your father. So then you're teaching what your father tells you makes you clean. And what does your father tell you makes you clean? Washing your hands up to your elbows? Not eating certain foods? Doing certain things on certain days? See what I'm trying to say? What else does he have to tell you makes you clean, to deceive you? Deceive means he's offering you something that makes you clean that doesn't. What is he offering you that makes you clean that doesn't actually make you clean? What is he offering you? Benjamin says, salute. Peace, peace to you, Benjamin. From France, huh? Okay. Peace, peace to those over there in France that love the Most High and love his word. I like that name, Benjamin, son of the right hand. These are the accusations you say he works on you with. I am not. That I am not worthy. That's right. That I am not valuable. That's right. That I am not loved. That's right. That I either didn't do enough or too much. That's right. That's right. That I can't do whatever it is which I want to do. That's right. What did Paul say? The thing I want to do, I do not. The thing I hate, that thing I do. How many people can understand what Paul is saying there? Well, the Bible, according to Peter, says that most people wrestle with Paul to their own destruction, not understanding it. See? Paul says, with my mind, I serve the law of liberty and the law of the spirit. But with my flesh, the law of sin. I see two members working. Can y'all hear it, Paul? I see two members working within me. When I do good, there's evil. It's right there. So for me to deny that means I'm a hypocrite. For me to deny that sometimes I do the thing I hate makes me a hypocrite. Can't you see that? Paul admitted he's an apostle chosen by Christ himself. And he said he'd do things that he hates. Not because that's what he wants to do. He said, that's the thing I hate. That's what I'm doing. The thing I want to do, I find not how to do it. I don't know how to do it. Look at the childlike state of mind he's putting himself in to try to submit himself to the will of God and not go with his own understanding. We saw what he did when he went with his own understanding. He murdered. He killed. He persecuted Christ. He was a far from seed. And so were many of we. Y'all hear that, little flockulators? So were many of us. Y'all hear that? So now, watch this, little flock. So when they accused him, verse 12, what did Yahushua say in response? That's the next question. When they accused him, what did Yahushua say? That's right. He said, not a damn thing. Y'all hear that, little flock? He didn't say anything. Do you hear that? He kept his mouth shut. So now, we've already covered this at the School of Marvelous Light, like I've told you. What does it mean to keep the word of his patience when you're tempted? Somebody break that down to layman's terms for the simple-minded to even understand it. What does it mean to keep the word of his patience during the hour of temptation? What does it mean? To not open your mouth during accusations. There we have it. It means to be dead to the world. Dead to the world in what way? Because this is specific what it's saying here. This is very specific. It's during the hour of temptation. See? What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to keep the word of his patience during the hour of temptation. What does that specifically mean? Not reacting. There we have it. To not be tempted to answer. That's right, because you're being accused. That's what the temptation is about. Consider it like this. If somebody was trying to figure out if you had done a crime, but you didn't do it, but they were trying to figure out if you did, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions, and they're even going to try to accuse you of being guilty of some of that shit. Yeah, it was you. I saw you. You had on black Nikes, didn't you? You're like, yeah, I had on some black Nikes, but it wasn't me. But you don't say anything. You just say, he may even say, hey, you don't hear me asking you a question? He's going to think what you're doing is strange. That's right, because only one man can do what you're doing. There's only one man that can do this. That's Christ. You see it? So in order for you to do it, you have to give up your will and become like Christ did. Die. Let's continue and see. Let's continue and see. Then said Pilate unto him, hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? Why did Pilate say that? See what I mean? How they think it's strange when you don't respond? What did Pilate say? He said, do you don't hear the things they're saying against you? Why did Pilate say that? Like, Yahusha, you don't hear them? You don't hear all this shit they're saying? Why is he saying that? He obviously expects Yahusha to have did what? To get him to talk. He expected Yahusha to defend himself. To say, no, I didn't do that. No, they're wrong. They're lying. To say something, because that's what men do. Yahusha's not like other men. See that? So he's going. So Pilate says, do you hear what the men are saying? Well, let's continue and see. And he answered him to never a word. What do that mean, little flock? He answered him to never a word. So what does that mean he did? What does it mean to answer somebody never a word? What that mean? It means he kept his yapper shut. Okay? Now, because he's keeping his yapper shut, that's right, he didn't say a word. So now that he's keeping his yapper shut, how is the governor, Pontius Pilate, going to respond? That's what we need to see. How is the governor going to respond to him keeping his mouth shut? Let's see. He answered him never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. Stop. Did you hear it? It didn't just say he marveled. It said he marveled greatly. Why? Guys, why did he marvel greatly? I told you, our live stream are very interactive. So we all in this together. We all building the walls together. Why did he marvel greatly at that? That's my question. Because anyone else would have spoken. Because he wanted to get a reaction. So anybody else would have spoken. See what I'm saying? He's calling you to do the thing that the world can't do. Pilate is used to people defending themselves. He proved that he was used to it by saying, I'm greatly marveling over the fact that this man isn't defending himself. So then what will happen when you don't defend yourself when people accuse you? What will happen to them? Something different? Or will they greatly marvel over you as well if you keep the word of his patience during the hour of temptation when they tempt you? They're tempting you because they know you're going to react. So when you don't, they are greatly marveling. Not just marveling, they're greatly marveling because they just knew you were going to react. That's why they did it. A narcissist does exactly what he does to get a response from an empathic person. He does exactly what he's doing on purpose to get the reaction. So the empath must learn not to react, right? It's the same thing he's learning. Why do you think he's learning that? So that he can know how to keep the word of the patience of the Most High. See? Brother P says, because it isn't common. Of course it isn't. Only one man is doing it. One. Not a million. Even a million is a small number of human beings. According to, considering how many people there are billions. So a million ain't shit but a drop in the bucket. And you're talking about one man. You see? Now watch this, little flop. Watch this. Now at that feast, the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner, whom they would. So it comes a time during the feast when the governor will release a prisoner. Whichever prisoner they want released, he'll release him. You see that? And they had then a notable prisoner named Barabbas. You see that name? What does Barabbas mean? It means son of the father. Bar, son, Abba, father. Barabbas, son of the father. So do you see it? There's a choice between one and another. One is wicked and a murderer. One is life and one is peace. Which one will Israel choose? Well, let's see which one they choose. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, whom will you that I release unto you, Barabbas or Yahushua HaMashiach? That's the choice they have. For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. He knew that they did it out of envy. See that? When he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, have thou nothing to do with this just man? For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude. Persuaded who? The multitude. So who has the ear of the people? The far from seas, the wicked, the murderers, the chief priests of the Mosaic order. See? They persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yahusha. Y'all hear this shit? They'll take a murderer instead of the righteous one. That shows you the judgment of this world. So since the world is full of iniquity, do not let your heart wax cold because of that, because that's what it's designed to do. Let me give you a reminder. In the last days, it shall be perilous times. And the love of many shall wax cold, because iniquity shall abound. So it's waxing cold for a reason, and the reason is iniquity will abound. This is the greatest example of that iniquity. Well, iniquity abounds to a point called the hour of temptation, where it's so unfair that it's causing you to want to lash out and to give up that word of his patience and to defend yourself. And the moment you do that, you have failed. Hear that, little flop? All right, continuing. The governor answered and said unto them, whether of the twain, two, will you that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate said unto them, what shall I do with Yahusha, which is called Christ? They all said to him, let him be crucified. And the governor said, why? What evil has he done? But they cried out more, saying, let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water, washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See you to it. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and on all our children. You hear that? Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Yahusha, he delivered him to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Yahusha into the common hall and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. And they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. What color? Scarlet. And when they had plaited a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews. And they spit on him. You ever been spat on? Have you? I'll ask anybody in this chat. Have you ever been spat on before? Brother Skill said everything that goes on here in Palestine, Israel, y'all kill me saying that. Palestine, Israel is iniquity and unrighteous behavior. I can definitely see it clear now. That's right. It's all a lie. Okay. So a couple of brothers here have been spit on. How did you feel when you got spat upon? How did it make you feel? What did you do when you got spat upon? How did you react? Bro said for no reason at that. That's even worse. I didn't believe in God back then too. Brother P said no, but someone threw an egg at me from from a drive-by car. Same difference though. What did you do when it happened? What was your reaction? Brother Skill said sad. That's for sure. That's for sure. So what was y'all's reaction when this happened to you? I was like, why? Sad, confused. We see those are the things that are going through a person's mind when they suffer something like that. What other kind of thoughts? Depression, anger. Didn't even react back then. I was just so disappointed that I simply went home and got clean. Betrayed. Wow, okay. See? So in other words, it produces negative to be treated that way. No one likes to be treated this way, correct? No one wants to be. And I can't say the same, Brother Chris. If someone was to spit on me, I would have a reaction. See, because I'm a man of the heart. I'm going to react in my heart. It doesn't matter what I did outwardly. That ain't interesting to me. I don't care about that. It's what I did in my heart. I'm going to say something in there. I'm going to have some response in there. Why? Because it's unjust. It's iniquity. You see? It's a temptation to get you to react. You see that? Now watch this. So they spit upon him. They took a reed and smote him on the head. And after they had mocked him, they took the robe and put on his own raiment and led him away to crucify him. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of his skull, they gave him vinegar to drink mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. Brother said, I was sad. For sure, I bet. And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. Okay? So the point of this, I'm reading all of these things that they're doing to him, little flock. What are you seeing him do? Say anything or do anything during all of this? This spitting, this being beaten, this stripping his clothes off, scourging him with a scourge, bearing false witness against him. He has not opened his mouth, not said a thing. Y'all notice that? Okay. I won't know. Okay, now we're gonna jump ahead to Revelation real quick because we ain't got much time, y'all. I got a boogie in a minute here, so we're gonna go ahead and get to the end of this message. So y'all see that during that hour of temptation, you are not to respond, not to talk. If you follow Yahushua's footsteps, because you see that's what he did. He didn't say anything. He didn't defend himself. He didn't open his mouth. He took it. So now back to the cup. Do you see why that was difficult for him to accept that? Because if I told you, hey, tomorrow, hey, brothers, tomorrow, when you walk outside, some people are going to beat your ass. They're going to lie and make up a bunch of shit that you did you never even heard of. But they're going to lie to you. They're going to smear you. They're going to drag you in court. They're going to spit, pull, punch, kick, dress you in funny ass clothes and hang you up on a cross. How do you think you're going to feel? Like, yeah, let's get on with it. Sounds like a great day I'm going to have tomorrow. Are you serious? No, it don't. You see? Brother said he was being silent the whole time, making his father's will. That's right. Brother P said displeased, unpleasant. That's right, brothers. Y'all know that. So now, when we experience something unpleasant, what is our nature to do? See? To let it pass from us. Soon as an unpleasant situation comes our way, we say, let it pass. I don't want to endure it. Well, Abba's calling you to. He's calling all of us, flock, to endure injustice, iniquity, and to do it as Yahushua would do it, which is to keep the word of his patience. Because as we've seen, those are the ones that he's going to save. The ones that remain silent. Brother Carlton in the building. Peace to you. I'd be like, hell no to the no. I know that's right. See, we're real with our carnal mind and how it operates. We're familiar with the devices of Satan. So we know how he thinks. He don't want to hear no shit like that. Wait a minute. I'm about to suffer. Hell no. Shit. I don't do that. I don't let people spit on me and get away with it. Y'all know how the carnal mind talks. You don't let anybody hit you and get away with it. Wow. Sounds like a lot of so-called Hebrew Israelite black mothers. That's how they talk to their sons. Don't let nobody hit you and you get away with it. I mean, let him get away with it. Well, what if Yahushua's mother had taught him that? Well, Yahushua said, my mother, see, little flock, my mother and my brother are those who do the will. See? Who have given up their own will. If you haven't given up your will, you're not my family. You're just not. You have to have given up your will. That's what he said. See? You can only do the will of the Father if you've given up your will. Brother Skill said it sounds like my mother. A whole lot of mothers, man. Shit, that's just the truth of the matter. A whole lot of mamas did a whole lot of wicked shit to their kids. It's just the truth. Lied to them, manipulated them, brainwashed them, tricked them, told them that they wasn't shit, told them they'd never amount to anything, told them that they'd be just like their dad who wasn't shit, told them that they hate their daddy, told you guys hear all, you understand what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Brother Gabriel Den said, you are one with the darkness. How so, Brother Gabriel D.N.? How so? Care to explain? Do us a favor and shut up. No. How about that? No. I'm going to keep on talking. I know why you're telling me to shut up. It's because I'm talking about you and your people more than likely. The carnally minded devils that are out there who don't want to hear anything about the truth. Well, that's not going to stop my light from shining, as you can see. Cinderella slipper time. That's right. Y'all already know I hit that nigga with the Cinderella shoe launcher. He came over there clicking and clacking like, hey, I don't wear heels. Why are these on my feet? Well, because you're Cinderella. Nigga, that's why. No, I ain't listening to you. Gonna tell me to shut my mouth. Now, it's interesting if I was talking some bullshit, that nigga probably be like, keep on talking, grandson. Yeah, keep going. But as soon as I talked about that accuser, look at him. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Yeah, I know the red dragon is scared of the man-child. I know that. But he had a short time. So run. But you can't hide. But run. All right? So he been watching the live for the last hour. Now he like, he's exposing me. Shit, get out of here. Yeah, get to running, Nick. Get to running. Now back to what we was talking about. Now, this particular thing that we're doing, and then we're going to go ahead and end this message, little fly. This particular thing that we're doing causes us to have to be a ruler over something within us. So when Yahushua's standing there quiet like that, what is he ruling over within himself? Before I read it, I'm going to make sure that you guys are flocculating by answering this. See if you guys can. When Yahushua's being quiet, what is he ruling over? Within himself. What's in there that he's ruling over? Brother P and Brother Carlton are definitely brothers here at the School of Marvelous Light. Emotions. Y'all hear that? Now, y'all been coming to the School of Marvelous Light, so y'all got peculiar wisdom. What is emotions when it comes to the scripture? How does the scripture articulate emotions? And then watch what we're going to unveil here. You look like an Oompa Loompa. You're so funny, Gabriel. You're named after an angel of God. How do you feel about that? The woman, the female, that's right. Okay, so now he's ruling over his wife. Now we're going to get some more insight to how the Bible explains emotions. What is emotions often depicted as in the scripture? There's an element that coincides with emotions. What is that element? Brother Carlton sliding into home base again. The wind and the waves. Y'all hear that, little flock? Y'all hear that? The wind and the waves. What are waves made of? Skeet-and-deedly, about to undiscover thee. All right. I don't know how to say this name. Hi Ho Gil. I remember you, Hi Ho Gil. Hi all. What's up, Hi Ho Gil? Brother Carlton Hill says water. That's exactly right. So then Yahusha is controlling the flood of emotions that come when you get attacked with iniquity or unrighteousness or unfairness. You feel a flood of emotions. We describe them all through this message. When you feel that flood, you must conquer them and rule over those emotions, because the emotions are what are trying to cause you to speak, which is what you don't want to do when you're tempted, is it? You want to keep his patience, so then you want to remain silent. The only way you can remain silent is if you rule over your emotions, correct, little flock? Okay. Now we're going to prove that he's able to do such a thing. Y'all hear that, little flock? Watch this. Let's go to Matthew 14. Okay. Let's go to Matthew 14 and see if it has to do with your emotions. And waves represent what emotion? Okay. We know about water. He leaded me beside still waters. Still waters represents what kind of emotion? Waves represent what kind of emotion? Let's break it down a little bit. Stormy, anxiety. Okay. We'll go ahead and entertain some nonsense real quick, little flock. I guess he needs some attention to make him feel like he exists and that he's alive. Bro, you are nigga. I am nigga from hood. Don't preach, please. Let remain your repression as hip hop. Y'all hear this shit? Bro, you are nigga from hood. Don't preach, please. Let remain your repression as hip hop. No, okay? Get over it. I know you guys used to think we were nothing but a bunch of nigger hip-hop jigaboos. That ain't me, partner. And that ain't us. That was a lie. And now you seeing the truth. That what do? We preach, my nigga. So get over it. You hear that, little flock? All right, so back to what we talking about. Brother Chris said waves are negative emotions. Still is positive emotions. Okay? Stormy, anxiety are the waves. Okay? Now let's read this right here, little flock. Y'all see this? Let's read this right here. It's all right, man. Let Gabriel have some fun, man. He gonna go ahead and get kicked out of here in a minute any damn way. He about to get kicked out any damn way real soon. So let's continue. Watch this, little flock. Verse 25. Matthew 14, verse 25. And in the fourth watch of the night, Yahushua went unto them, walking on the what? Yahushua went unto them, walking on the what? Gabriel said, no! Well, too bad, because you're about to get put out of here. You're about to get removed. Bye. Bye-bye. Uh-oh. Gabriel was hidden by the grandson of right thought. Uh-oh. So Yahushua was walking on the sea. Swing, swing. Bye-bye. Yeah, I already got his butt up out of here, man. He was talking too much stuff. Talking about niggas don't preach. They do hip-hop. That's all we do? All we do is hip-hop, huh? Okay. Continuing. He's walking on the sea, right? What does that mean? Well, you guys should know here. Okay. What does it mean Yahushua was walking on the sea? And then we'll be done with this message real short like. What does it mean Yahushua was walking on the sea? He was in control of his emotions. Now let's see if that's what it's about. Before we continue, let's see if that's what it's about. He was controlling his emotion. Didn't I tell you that Brother P and Brother Carlton, and we're all brothers and everything? Do you see why I'm saying that? He was in control of his emotions. He was controlling his emotions. That's what it is. He had self-control. You see that? That's exactly what he had. Now let's prove it. Let's prove it's about control over your emotions. Wind and waves makes you feel what? Y'all said it. Anxiety. Ultimately, it's fear. That's the waves. It's ultimately, it boils down to fear. It causes fear. Now let's prove that. Let's prove it. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, is it a spirit? And they cried out of what? They cried out of what? Fear. They cried out of fear. Do you see it? Brother Chris already there. Fear. But straightway Yahushua spake unto them, saying, be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid. See how it's about your emotions? That's what this lesson is about being not afraid. Because when you're afraid, it feels like waves. And when those waves kick up, you start screaming out to save your life. Did you hear about the boat when Yahushua was asleep? And the men screamed because they thought they were going to die? Because they were afraid, but he was not. So when you get accused, the reason why you speak is out of fear. You think you're saving your life, but the reason why you're defending your life is because you're afraid. You think you're going to lose it. But if you lose it for my sake, you shall find it. That's what he said. And it takes you to be brave to give up your life. It takes you to have calm emotions to give up your life. It causes you to be able to walk on the water, to be brave enough. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Now watch. Watch this here, little flock. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, wait, watch this, little flock. Go back to verse 24. Go back to verse 24. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves. Forgot to give you that part. For the wind was contrary. It was tossed with waves. So they're on the ship that's being tossed. Yahushua's walking on the sea. So they're in a state of tumultuous fear, as you saw that. Then it says, but straightway he said, don't be scared. And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be you, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water. See, I keeps referencing that. He walked on the water, which means he overcame his emotions in order for him to step out of that boat. He overcame his emotions. He overcame his fear is what that's saying. And he said, come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Yahushua. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid. So when he became afraid, he began to sink and he cried, saying, Lord, save me. Do you hear the lesson there, little flock? Can you hear it or can you not? As soon as he saw the wind, he stopped being calm. He stopped feeling like I am safe. He stopped saying, I am protected. And he started saying, I am sinking. I am afraid. The wind is going to get me. Ah! Right? And it caused him to sink. So him sinking was contingent upon the state of his emotions. Right? So then your salvation is contingent upon overcoming your emotions. That's the only way you can be silent when somebody's accusing you. That's the only way you can be silent when somebody is saying you're not righteous. That's the only way you can be silent when somebody says you didn't do something right. That's the only way you can be silent when somebody says that God don't love you, is that you know you are, so you rest. I don't have fear about anything you say because I already know. What does it matter what you say when I already know? Y'all hear that, little flock? Calm and collected. That's right, Hi-Ho Gil. Calm and collected. That's the right way to be. So now, watch this, and we're going to get a nice juicy nugget at the end of this message, and then we'll be done. Now watch, little flock. And immediately Yahushua stretched forth his hand and caught him, and said unto him, O you of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? So when the attack comes and you start to lash back at somebody and try to defend yourself, then you are doubtful and you have little faith. Isn't that true? Now watch this, little flock. Watch this, little flock. So then you sink when you give into your emotions. Now when you got spit on, what started to kick up in you? Your emotions. So emotional and I can't let go. Emotional, man. Like Carl said, Carl Thomas, that is. Unbelief makes one fear. That's right. Seeking to save your life out of fear. That's right. So God is, if your God is fear, then is the same daddy I'm talking about? No. Fear and love are not the same. You see? Now, I want you guys to see something about overcoming. You're overcoming your emotions, aren't you? Or are you overcoming something outside of your body? No, you're overcoming the wrong thoughts and the wrong feelings. And you're putting right thoughts and right feelings in their place. Because Christ is now your head. Christ is your head, which means where you get your thoughts. Once he gives you his thoughts, then your feelings will become a new wife to a new husband. And now we're about to read about that in the book of Revelation. See? And then watch what it says about water. And then you're going to say, well, grandson, that was a juicy little nugget hidden in there. Thanks for the dessert on the way out. Because like I said, we're about to go ahead and end this message, little flock. Okay? All right. Now watch this here, little flockulators. Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. Now let's see what we see. Let's see what we see. Now that we have discovered what it means to walk on water, what water means. And it's about overcoming that. If you guys don't think that it is, what was it about overcoming in Noah's day? What destroyed all the people? Watch the grandson cook. What destroyed all the people in Noah's day? You're like, give me that dessert, grandson. Give me that dessert. Okay, the flood. A flood of what? Skeet and diddly, can you understand me? 'Cause I made that shit clear, so crystal clearly. All of the people in Noah's day died by water. Do you think that means actual water? No, because we've discovered what it actually means. It means fear. A flood means fear. A flood of emotions. A flood of emotions means fear. When the rain started, what did the people start to feel? Now, in the end times, what did God say? Men's hearts shall fail them for what? Skeet and deedly, can you understand? Because he makes that shit clear, so crystal clearly. Fear. That's right. That's right. So what killed the world of old? They didn't come into love, and so there's only one other place you can be. That's fear. So men's hearts are failing them for fear. That's what the Bible says. Fear of what they see with their eyes. Isn't that right? But if you don't look with your eyes to tell you what a thing is, then you won't have fear. You will have right thought. I am safe. Hey, grandson, we're dying. You might be, but I am not. I am provided for each and every moment. Hey, grandson, I'm dying. Well, I don't know why you saying words like that. I told y'all what y'all should say. That's what Noah was saying. He was saying the same thing. How come y'all didn't listen when I was preaching righteousness? Which means right thinking. Teaching you how to think right concerning what you're looking at. It's not what you think. It's not what you see. Makes a thing what it is. You willing to accept that truth, or you're going to stay in it and die like those in Noah's day? So if it was just like that in Noah's day and people were overcome with emotions, they got too emotional and that's why they died, then what's going to happen in the end? Just as in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. So then when the Son of Man comes, everybody is too damn emotional. How do you think a person is identifying as a cat or as a hat or as a sandwich? How the hell are people doing that? Because they're being led by their emotions. How I feel is what's right. Nope, that's not what's right. Because how will you feel if I drop your ass on top of some water and tell you to walk? You're going to get afraid and sink. See? So feelings aren't God, are they? No, but right thought is. But right thought is. Now, if it's not about overcoming low emotions, lies like fear, it ultimately is what it is. It's overcoming fear. Let's see. Revelation 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. What happened to the old? Let's see. For the first heaven and first earth were passed away. Well, that answered it. And there was no more what, little flock? Before I continue, I want to make sure you all see it. There was no more what? There was no more what? Revelation 21:1. What does it say? Can you understand me? No more fear. What does it say there in verse 1? Well, let me read it for y'all, in case y'all ain't see it. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Do you hear that? What the grandson has just said to you guys? That's why I broke down what sea was before I read that. Because if you don't know, when you read this, you will think, oh, the ocean went away? There was no more ocean on the earth. There was no more sea. gosh, that's not what it's talking about. No more fear. Your fear is gone. Now watch what the grandson's about to do here, little flock. Listen good. Watch this. Bring it on in. Bring it on into the huddle, because I'm about to call the play. That's going to get us to win this game. I asked you guys earlier, what is emotions? And you guys said the woman, the feminine, the female. And you guys are absolutely right. Your feelings are the woman. So then the woman does not become one with her husband because she's what? What keeps her from being one with her bridegroom? What will hold a woman back from marrying the man? He says, marry me, baby. What would cause her to hesitate? What would cause her to second guess? What would cause her to say, I don't know? What would cause her to do that? She's afraid. Now, if this is about a woman being afraid to be one with Christ, let's keep on reading. Watch the swing that's about to occur here, little flock. That was verse 1. So there's no more sea. So we understand what that means. The emotions have been overcome, and now the woman's ready. The feelings are ready to be one with the right thoughts. Let's see. Verse 2. And I, John, what did I tell you about John? The branch, the one in Yahushua's bosom, the one in whom he loves. Let's see what he saw. And I, John, saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a what? Prepared as a what? I want y'all to say it. That's right, Phoenix Queen, the fear of losing herself. What is a woman's greatest fear when she marries a man? She's going to lose her identity. She's not. How come she's going to take his name and lose her old name? Because she's about to give up her will and die and become a brand new creature. Let's see if that's what the Bible says. Let the man leave his father and his mother, and they cleave to his wife, and they too become how many? One new flesh. That's the whole mystery of Christ in the church, the Bible says, doesn't it? This is a mystery concerning Christ and his church. Christ is trying to get you to marry his thoughts. Have this mind in Christ that he had. You have that same mind. And if you have that same mind, then all fear is quenched and there is no more sea. And now you're prepared as a bride, ready to meet your bridegroom. Is that not what we're reading here in Little Flock right now? And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all their tears, sadness, all their tears. No more death, no more sorrow, no more crying. Neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are what? Passed away. The former things were your fears, because you still had a sea, obviously. And when you stepped out upon it, every time a wave came up, you sank. But now because you gave up your will and you gave up your life and you fell into the hands of your husband that loved you, he reached out and he grabbed you and he said, I give you more faith if you stand on your feet, and if you believe that you can come out here with me and be one with me, then you will be my wife, because a wife should be as her husband is, not some independent creature that still keeps her own ideals and still goes with her own will. Because if she goes with her own will, then she's going to end up dead. But the husband loves his wife and he gives his life for her so that she may live again. And having life means having no fear, but perfect love in your temple today. And when you have perfect love and you have overcome those fears and you have kept the word of this patience, because now you have faith and now you have a strong man of your house, and now you can stand upon that water just as your master did. And now you can say to others, come unto me, all of you that labor and are heavy laden, I'll give you rest for your soul. That you're afraid of what? What are you scared of today? Because we'll trample over that shit till it's dust today, little flock. Y'all like that dessert? Y'all like that dessert? Let somebody else tell you why there's no sea. Why there ain't no C no more? Because she's ready. Your feelings are prepared once you overcame all the accusers' nonsense and you overcame that temptation. Because I'm not one with my wife until my wife does like I do. I don't care if she has my name. That doesn't make her my wife. I don't care if she's got a diamond ring on her hand. That doesn't make her my wife. I don't care if she stands next to me and takes a picture and puts the shit on Instagram. That doesn't make her my wife. I don't care if she says I'm her daddy and I'm her hubby. That doesn't make her my wife. Her doing as I do makes her my wife. Clear? Clear? So we're going to go ahead and end it there, little flock. Overcome those negative emotions with the truth of the right thought. And then that sea will become a sea of glass. Because isn't that what we're standing on at the end? Yeah, it is. So fear is going to kill these devils because they haven't accepted perfect love. That's what the grandson brings to you today. It's perfect love that has no fear in it. That has no doubt. That has no skepticism. That has no second guessing saying, I wonder if God still loves me because today I did something. I didn't do it yesterday, but then I did do it today. So God loved me yesterday, but now today he doesn't love me. So then if I don't do it tomorrow, then God will love me again and I'll be back in God's good graces. Do you guys notice that every day I drop a message? And the only way I can drop a message is if God does it. So every day I'm perfectly doing everything God wants me to do. And that's why he gives me the messages. It's not about me doing anything. He does it by his own grace, by his own election, not because I did anything. Oh my goodness. So now I don't need to think that I can keep myself on that water. I'm not doing it. He is. My faith is what keeps me up here. We just found that out. Y'all just said it. Y'all see that, little flockulators? So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, little flock. Get back to little flockalittles and the little lady at home. Thank y'all. Thank you, brother, again for your efforts and love toward us. You're most definitely welcome, brother. Most definitely. Thank you very much, brother, for all the love you share with us, brothers. Most definitely. I'm gonna always do that. That's what I'm here for. I am safe. I am protected. I am loved. I am fearless. I am brave, and I am conquering. I accept every last one of them lines, brother. Thank you for that. Brother Chris says, thanks once again, brother, for amazing food you served us. Blessed to all the flockulators. Love all of you. Much love to all of you, little flock, for sure, for sure. Brother Hi-Ho Gill, glad to have you here. Imperatrice, I believe that's what that says. Imperatrice says, gratitude. Gratitude to you for being here today. I haven't seen you before, but welcome to the School of Marvelous Light. So blessings to you all. I hope that was edifying to the body, and we got much more to come, I'll be willing. But right now, it's a separation occurring, little flock, and the water is what's going to separate. What do I mean? I mean, those who are in love are going to be separated from those who are in fear by the water, just as it was in Noah's day. You see it? It's not anything that's going to be a flood of water. That's not what I'm saying. That happened outwardly already. I'm talking about internally. And if you don't have a fire baptism, then you're not going to be able to stand because you're not going to keep the word of his patience and you're going to start talking out of fear and then you're going to die doing that. And we don't want you to die. We want you to have life and peace. You see, little flock? So y'all be blessed today. Sister Nika said, love y'all. Thanks for the food you fed the flock. Most definitely. Most definitely. I can relate to this sentence so much right now. It's high OHG2. It's too big. I and I's. Okay, I'm gonna try to get it together one of these days. But much love to the flock. Y'all be blessed tonight, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Much love. Shalom, Israel.